हेलो हाय आदाब और सत श्री अकाल। एक बार फिर से आ गया हूँ मैं आप लोगों के बीच, आपका हमराज आरजे अभिनव। और आज हम लोग बात करेंगे, क्योंकि मैं सुबह आया था जब आप लोगों के पास, तो आज हम लोगों ने बात की थी मेडिसिन के स्टूडेंट्स के साथ, स्कूल ऑफ मेडिसिन से। अब मेरे पास आए हैं स्कूल ऑफ लॉ के स्टूडेंट्स, जिनसे आज बहुत सारे ज्वलन मुद्दों पर बात होगी। बहुत सारे बर्निंग क्वेश्चन है जो हमारे कंट्री में चल रहे हैं, क्योंकि लॉ के स्टूडेंट होने के साथ साथ ये पूरी तरह से लॉयर अब बन चुके हैं और इनका फाइनल ईयर है, वो होने वाला है। तो इसके बारे में अब यही कह सकते हैं कि मतलब आधे लॉयर वो बन चुके हैं और इसके बाद पूरे लॉयर बन जाएंगे। तो वो काफ़ी सारे सवालों के जवाब देंगे, हमें कानून के बारे में बताएंगे, कानून की सीख देंगे, कानून का पाठ पढ़ाएंगे, और इसके बारे में बहुत सारी बातें हैं जो हम लोग पूछेंगे। सबसे पहले मैं बात करूँगा लावण्या से। लावण्या कुछ सवालों के जवाब देंगी। अब जो बर्निंग क्वेश्चन चल रहे हैं, जिसके ऊपर सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी सुनवाई कर रहा है, LGBTQ पर, तो ये जो पूरी कम्युनिटी हैं जिनके बारे में सवाल जवाब फिलहाल चल रहे हैं, इस पूरे मुद्दे को, इस इशू को वो कैसे देखती हैं और इसके बारे में उनकी क्या राय है, वो अपनी तरफ से कुछ बताएंगी, कहेंगी। लावण्या कैसी हैं आप? बहुत अच्छा जी, बिल्कुल बहुत अच्छा, वो तो दिखाई ही दे रही हैं। सो लावण्या से अब मेरे जो कुछ चंद सवाल आते हैं उनकी शुरुआत होगी अब यहाँ से। नॉट गिविंग LGBTQIA प्लस persons द राइट टू मैरी एंड हैव अ फैमिली would amount to a violation of Article 14 and 15. What do you say?
First of all, thank you, Avina, for raising this question to me.
Yes, welcome.
See, right to marry is not expressly recognized either as a fundamental right nor as a constitutional right under the Indian Constitution. It is regarded as an element to right to life. Now,
Okay.
I will throw light on some of the judgments before I proceed on commenting on Article 14 and 15, which you have raised in front of me.
आप बहुत अच्छे से बोल रहे हो, लॉयर की तरह बोल रहे हो। कंटिन्यू।
देखिए, इन 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 शक्ति वाहिनी वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया जो 2018 का केस था, यहाँ पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट हेल्ड दैट द डिसीजन ऑफ टू अडल्ट इंडिविजुअल्स टू मैरी ईच अदर इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ एक्सरसाइजिंग द फ्रीडम गिवन अंडर आर्टिकल 19 एंड आर्टिकल 21 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। फिर रहा शफीन जहान वर्सेस KM अशोकन, ये भी 2018 का केस था,
Yes.
जहाँ पर अ हिंदू गर्ल कन्वर्टेड इनटू इस्लाम विदाउट एन अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस और कोवर्जन, शी मैरिड अ मुस्लिम मैन। यहाँ पर her father filed a suit for annulment of their marriage. The Supreme Court restored their marriage, जो कि lower court ने annul कर दिया था, saying that she had a choice of marrying the person of her choice.
Okay,
फिर
right.
आता है golden judgment KS पुट्टुस्वामी केस का, which recognized the right of an individual to marry an other individual of one's choice as a part of Article 21. Now coming to Article 14 and 15 जो आपने मुद्दा उठाया था.
जी.
See, Article 14 कहता है that the state shall not deny to any person equality before law and equal protection of laws within the territory of India.
Okay.
और Article 15 कहता है that prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. अभी Article 15 जो है 5 grounds पे discrimination prohibit करता है.
जी.
First is religion, race, caste, sex and place of birth. But gender is not mentioned explicitly in any of the grounds.
Oh my God. So actually, they want to be the politically correct.
Yes.
Okay.
अभी यहाँ पर मुद्दा ये है कि सेक्स और जेंडर दो बहुत अलग चीजें
दो
हैं.
बहुत अलग चीज़ें हैं।
अभी लैंडमार्क केस हुआ था नालसा का, उसके अंदर सुप्रीम कोर्ट वाइडेंड द स्कोप ऑफ सेक्स अंडर आर्टिकल 15 of the Indian Constitution to include gender as well, into the scope of Article 15.
Oh, that's great.
So,
Nice.
if you give it a thought, if same-sex marriages are not given a legal recognition, then such discrimination will be solely based on gender of the individuals and hence direct encroachment on Article 15 of the Constitution. And the sexual activity between the same gender is legal through Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code.
Yes.
But they cannot marry or obtain a civil marriage right under the Constitution of India. Now, in my opinion, with regards to the ongoing case of Supriya Chakrabarti versus Union of India, I feel that the judiciary should go beyond sexual orientation and discuss the wider scope of sexuality, which includes marriage as well as cohabitation. And barring homosexual marriages and not giving them recognition will be a direct encroachment of Article 15 of the Constitution. And just to bring in light that it not only violates Article 15 and 14 जो आपने मुझे पूछा था, it also violates 15 clause 1 discrimination by state, right to privacy Article 21 and Article 19 which states right to self-expression. So as a result, regardless of sexual orientation, the state should extend this right to all people so that the members of the LGBTQ community live a complete, meaningful and a happy life with dignity.
That's great. That's a nice answer. And the nice actually put up. But I want to ask also one question. Why Center is against legalizing same-sex marriage? I mean, is there any, uh, there actually anticipation or something like that, or the prejudice, you can call it?
You can call it
What
more
they're
of a prejudice when it comes to the center commenting on same-sex marriage. See, Article 21 imposes the duty on the state to protect human life and to live with dignity. And the term human life does not discriminate any person based off categorization of sex, gender, race, religion. It is neutral. So now currently if you look on the ongoing case which is going on, the center is opposing to same-sex marriages on few grounds. First one is procreation. Procreation may it is contemplated that the primary purpose of marriage is procreation, and the same-sex couples cannot have biological children. Therefore, they believe that same-sex marriages should not be allowed. Second one is the legal issues on which the entire arguments is based on. So, there are concerns that allowing the same-sex marriages will create legal problems such as issues of inheritance, tax, property rights, and it would be too difficult to change all these laws. Then coming to the third part, which is religious and cultural belief. So many religious and cultural groups believe that marriage should be only between a man and a woman, and that changing the definition of marriage will go against the fundamental principles of the beliefs and values.
But actually, we are living in India, and actually, we have seen, in the abroad, they are also legalizing it. They are also, accepting it even in the
Yes,
society and
yes.
in the law. So, what do you say about that? I mean, can we actually see in that point of view, in their point of view, something like that?
See, if we talk about the center right now, the state has always been fundamentally heterosexual in its institutions, in its laws, and its capital structures. And it is very difficult for them to recognize this issue because India has an LGBTQ population of at least 50 million people. That is even less than 5% of 1.4 billion of the total population of India. And only a few thousands of the same-sex couples are into need of the marriage rights right now. So the number isn't high enough to put so much pressure on the government. So just like movements proceeding to the amendment of section 377, there needs to be large scale movements and campaigns in relate to make them realize the importance of marriage equality and how it impacts the hundreds and thousands of people to live.
Okay, there is only one question also. If actually I'm interrupting you, I'm so sorry about that. But is India ready to legalize same-sex marriage? As actually earlier we were talking about the society in the abroad, UK, USA, or everywhere.
See, honestly, if I talk about the judiciary's perspective, acceptance of any relationship in a society is never dependent on the legislature or any judgment which is delivered. It is on the society and it is from the feeling that comes from within. So, if we keep this philosophical aspect aside and honestly talk about the legislature intentive, the legislature has always intended to define a marriage as a relationship between a biological man and a biological female to form a relationship and to procreate.
Okay.
Now, in my opinion, the term a man and a female is not an explicit term. Like, it is not an absolute definition just based on what your genitals you possess. It is not precise, it is far more complex. And that is more important to realize right now. Now, to accept it or to reject it in both circumstances, it is going to underestimate the rights of the LGBTQI+. See, one of the major arguments against legalizing homosexual marriage is that it is not a part of country's culture. But it is important to realize that culture is not a static concept, and more importantly, culture cannot be used to adversely affect the rights of any individual.
Very well said, actually.
Since there is no express bar on homosexual marriages as per law governing on marriages right now, this present case is an opportunity to give due recognition to such marriages, like the way in which the cis trans marriages were given recognition under the Hindu Marriage Act of definition of bride under section 5. So it is essential to apply the idea of transformative constitutionalism and doctrine of progressive realization right now so that the rights accessible to the members of the LGBTQ community may be enlarged and given a new dimension by legally recognizing their rights.
Well, let's say our CGI, our respected CGI, Mr. D.Y. Chanchun, they will actually think about that and they will give a actually right decision what he thinks that actually it is coming by his conscience. Well, let's see. अब इसके बाद मैं आप लोगों से लेने वाला हूँ एक छोटा सा ब्रेक, आपको एक प्यारा सा गाना सुनाऊंगा, एक गीत सुनाऊंगा जो गाना हमने करुणा मैम के लिए अपनी तरफ से डेडिकेट किया है, मैंने, मुस्कान ने और लावण्या ने, और हमारे साथ हैं कार्तिक, उन्होंने। तो तब तक उनको हम ये सॉन्ग सुनाते हैं और उसके बाद दोबारा आते हैं आपके पास, कुछ और सवाल जवाब करेंगे, क्वेश्चंस करेंगे। स्टे ट्यून्ड बी विद अस।
माना भी है दीवाना, दीवाना क्या कहेगा।
छोड़ दो आंचल जमाना क्या कहेगा। मैं चली अब खूब छेड़ो प्यार के अफसाने, कुछ मौसम है दीवाना, कुछ तुम भी हो दीवाने। मैं चली अब खूब छेड़ो प्यार के अफसाने, कुछ मौसम है दीवाना, कुछ तुम भी हो दीवाने।
जरा सुनना जाने तमन्ना, ओ जरा सुनना जाने तमन्ना, इतना तो सोचिए मौसम सुहाना क्या कहेगा।